Hello there. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Now, I'm one of those people who is completely, I wouldn't say a huge diehard Harry Potter fan, but I did enjoy the movies. I did get cut off after a while because I started getting more enthralled in the books and realizing just how... I'll get into that probably more and more. I'm just going to say that I'm not probably the biggest fan, but at the same time, I'm a huge fan. So I can complain about certain things and just don't get too harsh on me. I do enjoy this stuff, okay? Everything I talk about, I normally do absolutely enjoy. I just always like to nitpick at every little thing. It mainly for my own reference, so it's just like, I try not to do this. I'll try not to do this. Of course, I will. Every writer does. Everything does. It's one of those things that you just can't escape. Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets.
That's right. I'm about to monologue, son. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I don't know why. Most people think of this film as like the weakest of them all or the most boring. I actually really did enjoy it because it was pretty true to the book. Just like 1 and 2 were my absolute favorites because they were literally beat for beat the book, except for, of course, the first one where it started with, well, Harry Potter being dropped off instead of Mr. Dursley. Talking about Grunnings, where they made drills. I mean, it's... Like, that's what basically sold... I can't talk about the books. I was talking about... That's basically what sold the books. The opening lines. And you're basically showing a magical world through the pages. It's fascinating. It jumps at you. But at the same time, it doesn't jump at you. You try to ignore it. And it just seeps through. But, okay. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is one of those that I absolutely... do enjoy. They did change little things, like when he's talking to the snakes. I actually wish that we heard his side, because he hears what the snake is saying when it's slithering down the pipes. But when he's talking to it in on the dueling grounds, or in the duel, we don't see that. I would have preferred that, because in the book, Harry Potter doesn't know he's speaking Parseltongue. He thinks everyone can understand him, and that's the moment. We see it from everyone else's point of view. Why couldn't we see it from Harry Potter's point of view? I think that would have been more interesting. Where we basically are listening to him talk to the snake is talking back, asking if he could strike him, and then Harry Potter basically saying, no, don't. That would have been better, because everyone's going to be staring at him like he's a monster, and then he's talking with like Ron and Hermione later, and we'd be confused. As the audience, we'd be like, what? But we heard him. We heard him. But then we'd get to realize it's just like... See, that's the thing. I find little things, because that's how it was in the book, and it made more sense. I find the little things and just like, I prefer it this way, just because. But it's just like the Basilisk Fang. He himself is a Horcrux, but apparently only Voldemort could kill him. That's getting down the line. But if he was stabbed by a Basilisk Fang that kills the things, he himself, the Voldemort inside of him would have died. A lot of little things that are just like... This was being made up for the most part as it was being written. I'm sure there was some thought process beforehand, but yeah, this was all being made up on the spot. There are a lot of things that are introduced that they go back on later on. But I still enjoyed it because, first of all, they introduced that in the magical world, they don't know how to dress like muggles, so everyone wears robes like 24/7. Robes is the common thing. Everyone wears robes. It's mandatory on school grounds. No matter what, it's mandatory on school grounds. And they keep it through this movie. And I absolutely love that, because you still get lost in the world. And getting me lost is something that I absolutely love in my escapism. It's when you start bringing things back to reality, when I start to lose interest, especially when it's supposed to be something that is an escapist medium, only to bring it down to earth, and it's just like, you guys introduced something here, or it felt more magical and mysterious here. So 1 and 2 really did keep to that. And basically, I'm talking about the robes, the whole committing to the characters, committing to what the actual book had written. I don't know what else to say about it, because there isn't much about it. Yes, they did change a few things here and there, but they were minor changes. They weren't huge changes like they started doing. I'll say The Prisoner of Azkaban was the first that started to derail the series. Even though I know that's most people's favorites, along with the Goblet of Fire, which was completely against everything. That was almost completely. But most people complain about that one. I think it was The Prisoner of Azkaban that kind of led the way for that. I'll get to that point. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles. Oh yeah, one more thing. I absolutely loved Dobby, and the fact that he kept reappearing in the book, I absolutely did adore. But the fact that they don't reuse him later on is kind of a slap in the face. Of course, they do bring him back at some point. Tear. But it's just like, I would have loved to see that relationship, because he goes from being like this, well, Harry Potter basically makes him swear never to help him again. And it's just like, Harry Potter's my friend and everything. But we don't see that friendship develop anywhere else. We don't. But in the books, I mean, you see all this stuff. You see Dobby wearing socks on his hands, on his ears, all over his body because, well, he's the only one cleaning the Gryffindor common room. Just because Hermione's trying to free all the elves. All these little things that are actually kind of funny. Would have been nice to have, but the movies were already pretty long. And that's what I mean is, I mentioned this before. I'll mention this over and over and over again. When you have something like this, it's better to do a series instead of just nitpicking here and there what you want. It works better as an entire series like they do now. Of course, at the time these movies were being made, respect there, because series, like movie-style series weren't being done like they are today. But it's just like one of those things, like you look back, I wish. I mean, they still could, but just like with whenever they're going to reboot the Star Wars trilogy, they're going to always get a lot of pushback. Always, no matter what, you're always going to get pushback. Even though I think it would be a good thing as well as a bad thing. But yeah, a series would have been amazing to actually include all the characters. Dobby, I absolutely adore. Would have been nice to get more of him later on, other than the tier. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.